Well, you've taught me that consistent practice is really important when you're trying to practice something, right? So I've had consistent shitty mental health. Does that count as consistent practice?
You laugh. And it sounds funny, but isn't the truth that we're all consistently practicing something? Like some people are practicing being mobile and exercising and walking and working out, but what is a couch potato practicing?
Couching.
Yeah, they're practicing staying still.
Yeah.
They're practicing lethargy and apathy and immobility. Make sense?
Yeah. Okay. That does make sense.
And some people practice cooking or chefing or cuisine or culinary arts. But what about a super busy CEO? What do? Do they spend a lot of time cooking?
No.
If they're a successful CEO, what are the chances that they have a personal chef or they eat fast food in restaurants all day?
That's more likely, yeah.
Do you think those CEOs could even find the utensils in the kitchen? Do you think they'd know what to do if food was going bad or going wrong or burning or whatever? Or would they actually be paralyzed?
They would probably be paralyzed. I mean, it took you 20 minutes to find honey in our kitchen when I was gone yesterday.
There you go. But there was a time when I was practiced at cooking.
Right.
I was quite good at it.
I know.
But I stopped practicing that and I started practicing what?
CEOing.
Yeah. And I practiced delegating my culinary needs.
Yeah.
I practiced hiring chefs. I practiced partnering up with people. I practiced anything to avoid cooking.
Yeah. You practice calling takeout and walking to the store or walking to the restaurant and picking it up.
Yeah. And then I knew all the best restaurants and I was quite practiced at it.
You did.
You see?
Okay. So I get what you're saying.
And I'll give a third example. Some optimistic people practice positivity and seeing the silver linings.
Yeah.
But aren't there some members of your family or old friends from school who practice something else?
I definitely practiced negativity before you and I met for many years. And I surrounded myself with people who were great at practicing negativity.
Right. So you practiced pessimism while other people are practicing optimism.
Yes.
If you eventually one day stop practicing pessimism and start practicing optimism, what do you get rusty at?
Pessimism.
Yeah. It goes away and you forget how to do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that makes sense.
like I forget how it is to be pessimistic about things. Like I've been practicing optimism for quite a while.
Yes, you have. Yeah.
It's actively difficult for me to take a pessimistic view of anything.
In almost 5 years we've been together, I've said that doesn't matter the topic, whatever I say about it, you will always spin it positively. It doesn't matter. I've never met anyone more positive. I don't think that if I said to you, say something negative about so-and-so or such and such, I don't think you'd be able to.
Yeah. But during my dark, homeless hell years, I was a bit more pessimistic and I was practicing something different. And it was quite easy for me to see the dark side of things.
Right.
So the question is, aren't we all always consistently practicing something?
Yes. Now that we phrase it like this and you give the examples, it makes 100% sense. I was practicing how to eat unhealthy for many years and make my body fat. And now I'm practicing how to eat healthy and make my body thinner. And before I was practicing being a mean, hateful hag to the whole world. And now I'm practicing being love and light and happiness to the world.
Yeah. And you practiced using for many years and then you practiced sobriety for many years.
Yes. And if you look at my arms, you'll see I was really bad at practicing.
But I've also noticed a lot of those scars and track marks disappearing.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, because when you practice something new, you get different results.
Yeah, that's true.
So your question, is my practicing shitty mental health for a long time count as practice? What's the answer?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. I was joking. It was a funny question, but I thought you were going to say something totally different. But you're right. I was practicing poor mental health.
And so is everybody else with poor mental health.
Yeah. Y'all.
Because
we're practicing.
You're always practicing something. It might be a struggle or difficult to practice a new thing. Yeah. I'm not arguing with that. Yeah. But you don't get to escape. Life isn't like that. You don't get to not practice something. You're either practicing the positive thing or the negative thing. The thing you want or the thing you don't want. The thing you desire or the thing you don't desire. And practice has momentum. So the further you practice using heroin, the more difficult it becomes to what?
To practice not using it.
Right. The further you practice eating junk food and unhealthy food, the more difficult it becomes to what?
To practice eating healthy.
Right. The further and longer and deeper and more intensely you practice negative mental health or poor mental health, the more difficult it becomes to practice what?
Good mental health.
Right. So people need to change now. I don't need to hear excuses. I don't need to hear any of that. I don't care how hard it is. Like, no matter how far you've gotten down this dark path, no matter how long you've practiced poor mental health, no matter how many setbacks you've had, if you practice it further, you're only making it harder on yourself. It will never get easier. Never. Unless you take control, put your heart into it, and start practicing the opposite.
Right.
Even if you fail, you have to practice the opposite.